That Christmas morning, I stepped into my parents' house with two truths I hoped would change our weather. My name is Daniel. I was 32, and for once, I carried news that felt like a banner, not an apology. In October, Rena, who loves me with a steadiness I'd longed for, slipped a ring into my palm on a ridge above cloud. And last week, my firm promoted me to senior marketing coordinator after years of late nights. I pictured saying it in the living room, where white lights crowned the old angel, and at the table set with china. Dad, Peter, met me with a hug and a question about work. For a breath, I felt seen. Then Mom, Marla, appeared in the red sweater I'd given her, scanning me. Green? That shade drains you. She patted my hair like it failed inspection. I smiled. Arguments cost more. In the living room, my sister Sophie perched in a navy suit under praise, while my brother Caleb scrolled hospital messages. You're late, Sophie said. I'd stopped for gas. No one cared. The ring box in my pocket thumped like a second heart. I've known the pecking order since I could count. Caleb the golden one, Sophie the darling, and me, the useful shadow. Their messes were spirited. Mine were attitude. So I worked. Tutoring, stocking shelves, painting when my parents moved, dog sitting, though I'm allergic. I remembered every birthday. The return was polite thanks. The exchange ran on schedule. Caleb handed out gift cards. Marla beamed. Sophie presented a spa weekend. The room erupted with plans. I gave Caleb a monogrammed briefcase, Sophie engraved pens, and my parents a photo album I'd restored over weeks. Marla flipped pages like receipts. Nice. Then she asked Caleb to show everyone a colleague's watch. I fled to the kitchen. The turkey ticked down. From the living room drifted Marla to Aunt Lila. Daniel's still at that little ad place. And Rena teaches high school English. Stable, I suppose sliced clean. I stood in the hallway. I would tell them over dessert. Fear has narrated my life long enough. I set the table, breathed, and chose the next lines myself. By 3, the table gleamed, the white and blue pattern marching like ceremony. Dad took the head chair. Grandma May, small as a bird, eyes like flint, anchored the other end. We passed bowls and laughter around me like a current I couldn't quite catch. I held my script and waited for a quiet pocket. It came from May. Danny, you still at that marketing office? It's a firm, I said, gentler than it sounded, and I was promoted to senior coordinator. I will lead a team. Aunt Lila clapped. For a beat, pride warmed the air. Marla pricked it. Daniel thinks making pretty pictures is a career. He should go back to school for something substantial. Heat climbed my neck. I kept my voice even. Marketing is strategy. It moves people. Before courage could cool, I reached into my jacket and set a velvet box by the bread. And Rena proposed to me on a ridge in October. I said yes, silence. Then a scatter of congratulations. Dad's smile stayed. May's hand found mine. Marla's face didn't move. October, she said. 2 months and we here now? Always secretive. She turned to Caleb. What does Rena do again? Teaches high school English, I said. Teacher, she repeated, letting the word sink like an anchor. At least it's stable. Sophie's laugh was paper thin. Hope he knows what he's marrying? You've always been difficult. My pulse steadied into something colder than anger. I set my napkin down and rose. Then stop calling me when you need money. Chair squeaked. Marla blinked. What are you talking about? I took out my phone. Thumb sure. $1,500 a month for your car, 2 years running. $3,000 last spring when Dad's surgery wasn't covered. $2,000 for Sophie's bar fees after the Europe blowout. $4,000 for Caleb's loans when the practice dipped. I tilted the screen. Rows of dates and transfers glowed like a spine of hard facts. I read them out. September 15th, $1,500 to Marla Hart. October 3rd, $500. November 7th, $2,000 to Peter Hart. December 19th, $1,500 to Marla. Aunt Lila's hand flew to her mouth. Caleb's watch stopped ticking in my head. Sophie stared at her fork. Dad turned to my mother, voice raw. Marla, is this true? She opened, closed, opened. It was temporary. He was helping until May's voice cut quietly through the room. You took his money and shamed him. The words landed like verdict. I slid the phone away. I won't be your safety net and your punchline. Bank of Daniel is closed. A hush fell so complete I could hear the grandfather clock counting how long we'd lived this way. Dad stared at his hands, then back at Marla, a new storm moving through his face. Sophie whispered, Why didn't you just say no? Because I thought if I gave enough, I'd finally matter, I said, but enough never comes. I sat. The table felt rebalanced, weight shifted off a single set of shoulders. Dessert plates clinked in a different register. I had been bracing for fallout my whole life. Now I braced for something else, whatever comes after truth. The phone lit up that night. I let it ring. In the quiet, Rena's ring sat on the table like a small moon. When I told her everything, she flew back early, folded me into certainty, and said, "You were defending your life." Dad called first, apology rough in his throat. He hadn't known, and the not knowing shamed him. Caleb promised to repay. Sophie, stunned, asked how to start again. Marla cycled through fury, bargaining, silence. In January, they met a financial counselor. Dad took extra consulting. Marla admitted the overspending. My transfer stopped. My savings grew. At work, space opened. So did I. 6 months later, we married under maples. May beamed. Dad wept. Marla spoke simply. She'd been wrong. I believed her enough, and myself completely.